In this video, we're going to fix the killer dowel pin. So this is episode 3, or part 3, I guess, of Brown Sugar, my 1972 Ford crew cab, getting a 12-valve Cummins swap. In the first episode, we kind of went over a game plan, started pulling the engine out. In the second one, we pulled the engine out. And since then, my friend Doug came over, and him and I degreased the engine, cleaned it all up, and then Shannon and I gave it a quick rattle can detail. It's definitely not a show quality thing, but good enough for an old work truck. However, since then, my friend Jim has been bugging me about the dowel pin, the killer dowel pin in these. Enough that he's bugged me enough, I'm going to do something about it. I've always known about it and just kind of ignored it before. So I was like, I don't know, an engineer designed this thing. It'll be fine. People get like 500,000 kilometers out of these. But I think I should probably fix it. I mean, it's out, it's right here. All I have to do is take the pulleys off and get to the timing cover. And once we're in there, it should be a pretty simple fix. What happens is, so there's a dowel pin behind the timing gear, and it will, over time, eventually work its way out and then fall into the timing gear and cause all sorts of destruction. So we don't want to do that. So yeah, let's start pulling this apart. So apparently, to get this fan off, I took 2 bolts out so I could get the crescent wrench in there. And I've got this guy on here to stop the pulley from turning, and it's reverse rotation. So you just basically unthread it backwards, but it's not working. So Shannon has come down to smash it with a hammer. Okay, you ready? Did it come loose? Okay, that worked. So now we can finish spinning this off. It's so awkward going reverse thread. Okay, there we go. It's off. I'm going to thread these back in so they don't get lost. And I think we can take this pulley off now. Okay, it looks like the water pump, and this is I believe this is for the tach. It's like a crank position sensor to make the tachometer work. It can come off, and the pulley can come off, and then we should be able to get this big thing off. And then we can actually properly clean and paint that. Okay, so I called this the water pump earlier because I honestly thought it was the water pump. I don't know if I mentioned in this video, but I did in the first video. I'm not a diesel mechanic. I've never worked on a diesel ever. This is all brand new to me. So yeah, that's not a water pump. That's just an idler pulley, I guess. I'm assuming this must be the water pump then. It kind of looks like a water pump. Anyways, got the 4 bolts out here, and apparently this just pops off. I tried hooking my puller up to it, but the bolts don't go through. So I stopped my time-lapse video to Google that, and yeah, it should allegedly pop off. I'm very skeptical of that, but we'll try it. Okay, let's give this a go. I think this is plastic. That didn't do anything. Let's try this side. Wiggle it back and forth a bit. Oh yeah, it just pops right off, they said. Oh, maybe it does. Just give it a tug. Yeah! Rock and roll. Okay, now I think we just got to take all these bolts out. That's easy. Now it should just come right off. Ta-da! Just like that. It's actually pretty clean inside. That's the dowel pin right there. So this one doesn't appear to have come out at all. What we're going to do is take this bolt out and basically build a little plate that will be held on with that bolt that covers that, just so that it can't come out. Should be pretty simple, I think. Okay, so all we need is just like a little plate to cover that. So I cheated and I drew one up on the computer because I can, but I mean, it's not hard for you to make at home. Basically, this is a 5/8 diameter circle. This is a 1/2 inch diameter circle. I did a 3/8 hole in the middle and just basically connected them so that when it's done, it basically looks like that. And it is, I forget how long it is. I think like 1 inch and 5/16 in total. So not super crazy. From there, we can cut it or upload it onto the fire control and we'll cut it out. Okay, there it is. Let's clean it up a little bit and see how it fits. Before I put this on, I just want to make sure this is all the way in. Yeah, it was out like 1/8 of an inch. Okay, where did my bolt go? There it is. Okay, I just want to test fit this, but I will put it together with Loctite. Bam! How do you like them apples? Got some thread locker on there. Way too much. It came out pretty quick, but it'll be fine. And I think that's 18 foot-pounds of torque. The third click is what does it. Okay, at this point, all that's left is to wash all these parts, probably repaint them, because I can do a nicer job now that it's all apart. And yeah, we'll put it back together, and then I still got to change the thermostat, and then the next step is take the truck apart. But I'll probably do that not now, because I'm tired. It's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna go to bed. I've painted and reassembled everything. Just put in the engine speed sensor that I've since learned it's called on. and it needs to be set at 50 thou gap. So I've got a 25 and a 25 because I don't actually have a 50 thou feeler gauge. And yeah, there's 50 thou gap. I just wanted to point out these dowel pin, killer dowel pin plates. I made a whole bunch of them. So if you need one, go to the website. I put them on a couple of the Cummins pages on Facebook the other day for 10 bucks a piece and sold a bunch of them. So yeah, if you need one of those, 10 bucks, they're on the website. Or if you need one of these, but also want a t-shirt, if you buy a shirt, you can have the dowel pin plate for free. So how's that for the deal of the day? It's all ready. Got the thermostat changed, the alternator back on, the fan back on. It's all put back together. So I think it's as ready as it's gonna get. Before we take my truck apart, I want to drive to the scale and I want to weigh it because I want to see the difference from the 390 to this guy. And also I've got rust-free inner fenders and rad support that are at my friend Rick's place right now. So we're gonna go pick those up. Because while the whole front clip's off, I mean, obviously I'm not going to put rusty crap back on, so I'll put the new stuff in. But we need a truck to go get it, so before the truck comes apart, we got to do one last truck thing. Let's do it. As we drive out to the scale to weigh this thing, I keep thinking about all the things I won't have to fix by putting the Cummins in. Like, I got a frost plug that dribbles every now and then. The power steering belt, sometimes when you're parallel parking and you're turning, will squeal. That's really annoying. Don't have to fix that anymore. The exhaust system, because this truck is so low, every time I go over a speed bump, the exhaust hammers into the ground and it leaks like crazy. It needs to be replaced. I've been putting it off for years. Don't have to do that anymore. So by putting the Cummins in this, I'm actually saving a whole lot of work. Makes sense, doesn't it? I don't think it fits, so I'm gonna have to do one axle at a time. Okay, so the truck does not fit on the scale, so we weighed one axle at a time, and it was 2,660 kilograms, which means absolutely nothing to me, because even though Canada uses metric for measuring, we still use feet and inches, and for weight, we still use pounds, mostly. But I Googled it, and it is 5,864 pounds. So when the Cummins engine's in, we'll see what it weighs then. We're heading to Rick Trenton's place now to pick up the inner fenders and rad support. Here we are at Rick Trenton's place, A&R Auto Resurrection. Rick and Andrew, they restore cars here, so.
Wow.
Here's Rick's project, 66 Thunderbird that he's been working on for a couple years on the AccuAir air ride. Here's all the parts for brown sugar. Doors, rad support, inner fenders. We're heading back to the shop now on what is the last drive of this thing with the gas engine in it. I'm so nervous about this. I don't want to take my running truck apart, but it's got to get worse before it'll get better. There's like a quarter tank of gas left. And I said when it runs out of gas, that's when it's happening, so it's close enough. I just swept up an entire dog's worth of dog hair. Thanks, Doris. And yeah, the truck is inside. Sorry if I sound a little weird. It's springtime here and I kind of got allergies going on. So, here it is. I don't know where we're going to start. Probably start with draining the rad. I'm taking all the front sheet metal off because this is roached. These are poached, and I've got good stuff to go on. I've got a immaculate grill that I picked up off Marketplace a while ago. So we'll put that on as well. So we're going to take everything out of it, right down to the frame. Well, not the frame. Sheet metal off, motor out, frame rails, and suspension, so I can still roll it in and out. And yeah, we'll start putting it in, I guess. Almost 1 o'clock now, and we've been plugging away for a couple hours. The wiring is all undone. Shannon's just undoing the headlight harness right now. Doug is pulling the condenser from the air conditioning out. The whole front end is unbolted, so in a moment here we'll be able to lift the front end off. But it's lunchtime. The front sheet metal's off. Now we can start pulling the engine out. We could have pulled the engine out without taking the sheet metal off, but it'll be a lot easier to put the Cummins in this way. Shannon and Doug are pulling the grill apart so that we can get this piece out. I have everything else except for that piece.
Doug is just bolting up the plate to lift the engine out. Everything is ready to go. It's all undone. Got this guy in position, so I'm going to drop the truck off the jack stands and roll it over here underneath this awkward thing again. When it comes time to actually put the engine in, I'm hoping this F100 will be done by then and I can park the truck right underneath here. Makes it very easy. It's loose, but the headers are hitting these motor mounts, so we got to take the headers off just to get it out the last little bit. Oh, there it is, out. Now, all we have to do is put the Cummins in. But first, we're gonna roll this outside and clean everything. My very first thought, naturally, was to load it on the trailer and take it to the car wash and steam wash it. But we don't have a truck to pull it with.
True.
So, I guess we'll make do with the garden hose. So here's a dumb idea. Jim and I were talking about this the other day. This 390 is still a perfectly good running engine that I'd love to use in a hot rod. Or this frame up here is set up for a flathead and an early Ford transmission, like what's in the 47. Take the engine and transmission out of the 47, put it in that Model A chassis, and put this engine and transmission in the 47. That's a great idea. We'll do that as soon as we're done building this Roadster pickup and done putting this engine in Shannon's car. That's the end of this video. The 390's out. The truck is sitting over there. I ran out of steam to wash it, so we're gonna go get some food and go bowling instead and continue on another day. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check out the website, lgspeedcustom.com. Make sure to check out the Cavaleros website, thecavaleros.com. Thanks again to the Cavaleros for their music. Thanks to Doug for the help, and Shannon, and Jim and Vanessa for bringing lunch. And we'll see you on the next video.